Welcome back to the Difference Engine podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Oakes. Today, I want to talk about something a little bit more nuanced. I talk tactics a lot on here, but the bedrock of what I teach as a business coach and a mindset coach really comes down to identity. I know that I've gotten to the root of a problem when I hit on identity. And today, it was a personal thing for me. I was driving to an appointment and listening to some coaching on a training video because it's really important in my line of work to stay very sharp, to stay one step ahead or 5 steps ahead, preferably. And as I was listening to this training, uh, it was on gratitude, and I coach my clients to delete the phrase "I know" from their vocabulary, because I know shuts off learning. As soon as you hear something that sounds familiar and you say "I know," you just decided you're not going to learn anymore. So the guy on the training was saying, hey, 90% of life is a mental game. Business is a mental game. If you get this piece down, you'll be in great shape. It'll help you sleep better. It'll make your relationships better. Basically how to mental hack and life hack your way to success. And I know there's truth to it, but I was kind of like, all right, well, instead of saying I know, I listened to the hour-long training. And what I came away with was a much deeper understanding, like hearing some of the things he was grateful for. And this is stuff that I write off. I expect my life to go well. I think we kind of all do. We expect things to go our way, which is interesting after living long enough to realize that things rarely go the way you plan. And things like clean water and, a nice pillow to sleep on and cars that work. And we tend to notice the dysfunction and the falling apart a lot more because it catches our attention, and our brains are wired for it. We're wired to find threats and problems and to avoid pain and discomfort. But when that's the focus, your life turns all gray and nasty. And I'll probably cut an episode on this pretty soon, or maybe a whole series on mental health and mental health with business, because it's a passion for me. It's something I really care a lot about. I've had family members who struggle with it, and I went through some really bad years, on and off through most of my 20s, actually. And even though there was a lot of things that could have helped me in terms of maybe mentoring when I was younger, and quite probably just more regulation, more direction, a lot more framework in those years, quite a bit was just perception. Quite a bit of it was just me enlarging my problems mentally. And the reverse of that is to be grateful, to enlarge your benefits and blessings and the good perspectives of your life much more, because you only have so much mental bandwidth, and you only have so much, mental dashboard you can occupy. And if you choose to occupy it with positive, powerful, enjoyable, exciting things, it crowds out the negative. And the one thing that I want to make sure I pass on that really affected me from this training was, he said, everything happens for your good. And I've heard that in different ways, but he was so emphatic about it. People will say everything happens for a reason. Well, it may not always be a good reason, and it may not always be a good thing that happens. So the reframe of everything happens for your good, and now you just have to figure out why, what benefit was there. It is pretty special. It is sort of delusional, and I think that's what I like about it. I think, I forget who said it, but would you rather be an optimist and be wrong, or a pessimist and be right? Because the outcome's the same. The actual reality of whatever occurs is the same in both those scenarios. You're either an optimist and you're wrong, or a pessimist and you're right. The difference is what your position is to the problem all the way up until that moment. And so you can suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer, and then have the thing happen and suffer some more. Or you can be optimistic and believe for the best, and probably increase your chances that things go right just by your belief and delusion, if you will. I forget a lot that life is not actually objective. It's not an objective experience. It's all subjective. Everyone you know is a human, and humans don't know everything. So by the very definition of that, they can't possibly know what's going to happen. They can't possibly know what is the 100% correct way. And so that being said, you just get to pick. Like, all of us get to pick our own mentality, our own outlook, our own choice to believe or not believe, and the best things happening for us. So I wanted to share that today. It made a big difference. And today it went by really fast. It was a long day, good day that went by really fast. And I could tell that it changed my position and posture to the whole day by thinking of how many things I was excited about and grateful for, where I was this time last year and how much things have improved and changed. And there's a lot to be said for momentum being gathered from mental habits and hygiene if you continue the small disciplines. I know I know a psychotherapist through one of my networking groups, and she made this profound statement one day in a meeting to me. She said, "The way you create a human is repeated thoughts." That's really all human beings are, is just a collection of repeated thoughts inside of a body. That's how your identity is formed. It's how your habits are formed, how your self-image is formed, by the thoughts you put on repeat. And if gratitude is one of those repeat thoughts, not only does it make you one of the rarest people, it makes you one of the happiest. It makes you one of the most fulfilled just by shifting your perspective. So yeah, I took a lot away from the training, and now the fun work begins of like making sure I actually implement the things that I learned and put practices in place. Nothing outrageous. I'm not going to gratitude journal for an hour every day now. It has to be sustainable, but it was a pretty big impact. And I think gratitude is one of those things that could always be added to, cultivate a little more, revisited and amplified. So hope you have a great day and find ways to cultivate gratitude in your life today and focus on the things that are going well for you and happening for your good.